It sucks because we discard it. Well, why don't we cast it for odds to make the shark, and then we're not hitting our own shark. Right? Just to make the shark? Giga brain play. Let's start smacking down. And our turn. We take the draw here. Come on, instant speed removal. Soul Shatter with the land. Nice! Woo! Hey everybody, welcome back, and thanks so much for taking the time out of your day to watch Hello Good Game. Today we're playing with a deck I've called Dark Reflections, which is based around the Magic Mirror, which is one of the mythic legendary artifacts from Eldraine, allowing us to draw additional cards exponentially each turn because a knowledge counter gets placed on it and you draw a card for each knowledge counter. So this is insane, and we're comboing it with the Midnight Clock, which is basically anti-mill, and it helps us ramp into things like the Shark Typhoon to help us create an army of sharks. So this is definitely a Dimir control deck. It's not your typical control deck, though. We have some really unique angles to it, so I'm excited to go through the deck list, the strategies and synergies, all of that with you guys so you can get into ranked and play it as effectively and efficiently as humanly possible. Of course, if you're not interested in that, we do have the chapters section below within the little red slidey bar. You can grab that, jump right to the gameplay if you want. And of course, everybody, if you want to support the channel, take a second now, give it a thumbs up on the video, just right below it, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And then, of course, buckle in to enjoy yourself. Let's get into Dark Reflections. The deck starts out with 4 copies of Bloodchief's Thirst. This is my favorite black removal card within Zendikar Rising, other than Soul Shatter. It might be better than Soul Shatter. It's not instant speed, but it's really effective early game, and we can kick it and have it be quite effective late game as well. So for those of you unfamiliar, Bloodchief's Thirst is a 1 CMC or converted mana cost sorcery spell, meaning we can only cast it during our main phases, that will destroy target creature or planeswalker with converted mana cost 2 or less. If this spell was kicked, instead destroy target creature or planeswalker regardless of their converted mana cost. So the kicker is going to be a little bit more expensive. It costs us an additional 3, so it'll be 2 generic mana and 2 black mana to kick it. But again, really effective early game removal, right? This kills a crab, this kills an Edgewall Innkeeper, and then we can kill things like an Ashiok, even an Ugin later on in the game, which is really, really cool. So a very effective card to be including within your decks to make things very efficient and consistent. Moving on to our second 1-drop, we have Cling to Dust. This spell is at an instant speed, meaning you can cast it anytime you want. Exile target card from a graveyard. If it was a creature card, you gain 3 life, otherwise draw a card. So if you're looking for life, of course, you exile the creature cards. You may also want to exile the creature cards if it is a creature with escape. Cruxa, Woe Strider, things like this. Even maybe Lockmire Serpent can come back from the grave. Any form of recursion that you want to deal with, then you take creatures. If not, you'll typically take non-creature cards, whether it be from your own graveyard or your opponent's, to help you draw through your deck to help find more removal, more answers for whatever the situation is at hand. Into our 2-drops, this is where things get a little bit weird. We have 2 copies of the Skyclave Shade, a 3/1 that cannot block. If it was kicked, it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counters on it. The kicker, again, will be at an additional cost here for an additional 3, taking 5 mana if we do kick it as a total. It gets better because there is a very nice landfall ability here, and whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, if the Shade is in your graveyard and it's your turn, you may cast it from your graveyard this turn. This is a removal magnet. It is so good to play the Shade, have your opponent counter it, have them remove it, with damage or a destruction type spell, and then replay it from your graveyard. Have them remove it again, replay it from your graveyard, and now they've spent 3 cards on your one, and you still get to play it from the graveyard. So, the downside here is it can be exiled, but if it's not being exiled, this makes an amazing magnet for all of your opponent's removal. And, in the deck, we're not playing an aggro archetype, we're playing control, so we don't really need it in play. It can't block to save our health points anyways, but it is not only a late game win condition because it can be in play as a 5-2 if we kick it. So, you know, maybe our opponent is out of cards, they're top decking, we're in full control, and now we can just kick it into play and turn them out in as little as 4 turns at the most. So, you know, not only does it have that early game, you know, removal magnet situation going on, but it can also be your win condition, which is really cool. Moving on, 4 copies of Negate at instant speed to counter target non-creature spell. This should say to counter target Ugin spell. You can also counter Shark Typhoon if it's hard cast, I guess. Maybe a Genesis Ultimatum. You want to really save this for the spell your opponent has that absolutely ruins and ends the match most times. Maybe it's a Great Henge, maybe it's an Embercleave. So there's a few different cards that are very, very good that you may want to hold up a Negate. And, you know, maybe you've got a Planeswalker in play and you want to protect it. Potentially you've got a Shark Typhoon in play already and they're looking to remove it. Negate town. So, you know, protect yourself with negates at all costs. Don't just counter the first thing that pops up. Into our 3-drops finally, 4 copies of our Midnight Clock. Now, this is an absolute sleeper in the current meta. Must be included in all blue decks. This is a 3-drop artifact which can tap for a blue source. Artifacts are able to tap immediately as they enter play not as a creature, so there is no summoning sickness. We can pay 3 to put an hour counter on Midnight Clock, and of course, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, put an hour on the clock as well. So, you know, you'll get one on your upkeep, you'll get one on their upkeep, and you can also sink any spare mana you have each turn on your opponent's end step into the clock to increase the counters on it. And of course, whenever the 12th counter is put onto Midnight Clock, we will discard our hands and shuffle our graveyard into the library and draw 7 cards, exiling this copy of Midnight Clock. So, you know, we're playing that control deck. We typically need a draw engine. This is it. Not only does this protect us against the mill, but it draws us a whole new hand eventually. So very, very good. And, you know, I cannot describe how much work the Midnight Clock is doing in the current meta. 2 copies of Elspeth's Nightmare. This is an enchantment saga, so it triggers when it enters, and then on each of the following upkeeps, first off, destroy target creature an opponent controls with power 2 or less. You know, that in itself is not great value, but it is enough. And then we do get to go into our opponent's hand, revealing it, taking a non-creature, non-land card from it, so instant sorcery, enchantment, stuff like this, and then having them discard that card, and finally exiling their graveyard, which is, again, pretty cool if they're playing the Rakdos deck, getting rid of the Oxes, getting rid of the Kroxas, getting rid of the Woestriders, anything of the like, even against the Rogue decks, so they cannot Agadeem's Awakening on us. Soul Shatter. I mentioned that Bloodchief's Thirst was one of my favorite removal spells in Zendikar Rising. Soul Shatter is either tied or right behind it. At instant speed for 3, each opponent sacrifices a creature or planeswalker with the highest converted mana cost among creatures and planeswalkers that they control. This takes out Wicked Wolves. This takes out Elder Gargaros. This takes out the Cragplate Behemoths. Not that you'll ever see it. It takes out Ugins. It takes out Dream Trawlers. You name the best card, Soul Shatter takes it out. Oh, don't worry, Terror of the Peaks, pay 3 damage to target this creature? No. You sacrifice it. I'm not targeting anything, right? So the Soul Shatter does damage to so many good cards right now. I absolutely love it. Witch's Vengeance. We're feeling a little saucy today, so we're out hunting rogues. This is a 3 CMC sorcery to give all creatures of the chosen card type -3/-3 until end of turn. You can pick humans, you can pick rogues, you can pick clerics, you can pick whatever you want in that specific situation. At the worst situation, it's very poor removal, it's very expensive, but on a good day, you can wipe out a rogue deck. Absolutely amazing. It's a little bit cheaper than our Extinction Event, which we'll get to next, so it's nice because, you know, they're going to counter it, right? If they are able to counter your Witch's Vengeance, they will do so. That's going to spend their mana and get rid of their counter, and now you do hit your event like you typically would regularly. So it really just kind of forces them to deal with it, and hopefully they don't have a second answer for your event. So it kind of just opens up that little slot for you. Anyways, the event is at sorcery speed for 4 to choose odd or even, exiling each converted mana cost of the chosen value of creatures, at least anyways, right? So this card literally gives me PTSD. I wake up in the morning, it's just like, oh, another Extinction Event. Just freaking out, right? Such a good card. The Exile is absolutely amazing right now. It takes care of any Lurrus deck, you know, the Rakdos deck that's replaying things with Escape. So Recursion's not really an option on creatures that have been exiled. Anyways, 2 copies of Ashiok, Nightmare Muse. Now, this is where it really starts to get fun. He is, or they are a 5 loyalty legendary planeswalker coming in with a +1 ability to create a 2/3 blue and black nightmare that whenever it attacks or blocks, you get to exile the top 2 cards of your opponent's library. -3, return target non-land permanent to its owner's hand. Then that player exiles a card from their hand. And -7, you may cast up to 3 spells from among face-up cards your opponents own from exile without paying their mana cost. So that's really, really fun. We can fill the field, stop the attackers with the 2/3s. The -3 I reserve for things that are, you know, a direct impact to the game that ruin us. It also is really, really nice to do on tokens because the token dies, it doesn't go to their hand, and then they still have to discard from their hand. So it's like you dealt with 2 things for 1 ability, which is really, really nice. Moving on, 4 copies of Shark Typhoon, an enchantment for 6. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying, where X is that spell converted mana cost, cycling for 2 plus X, and whenever you cycle Shark Typhoon, create an XX blue shark creature token with flying. Woo! There's a lot of text on that bad boy, right? So, you know, the Shark Typhoon is great because you can cycle it, discard it basically, and draw a card, which typically is what cycling is all about, but there's an added ability there, and you get the XX blue shark with flying. So if your opponent Ugins you, there's a big minus, then you can flash a shark in and kill it, right? Very, very nice. The cool thing about cycling as well is it cannot be countered. So, you know, if rogues are countering you and you can cycle a Shark Typhoon, throw a 3/3 out there and start blocking some rogues, that's really nice. Yeah, there's removal, but they won't be able to counter the cycle of the Shark Typhoon, which is nice. And then if you ever do get to hardcast the Shark Typhoon, there's enough instants and sorceries and non-creatures in general within the deck to make an entire fleet of sharks and go out in true Typhoon style. You know, just to top everything off, we like to include a little cherry here for you guys within the Magic Mirror for 9. So Ugin's not minusing this, which is really nice. It's always going to stay in play, and there's a good chance that even if he does get some minus off, which he probably won't because we don't stack many permanents, the only time we'll see him do it is if there's an Ashiok not in, you know, his +2 ability range. That, you know, it's going to make it hard for the Ugins, and that's a really nice thing within this deck. So we get to put a knowledge counter on the Magic Mirror every time we draw, or on the beginning of our upkeeps. We have no maximum hand size, and we also at the beginning of our upkeep get to draw a card for each counter on the Magic Mirror. So it becomes some exponential draw. You draw 1 extra card your first time, 2 extra cards, 3 extra cards, so on and so forth, right? So a really nice situation that is, if it's not dealt with, over 2 or 3 turns, you're going to have every card you could possibly want, which is nice. So not only that, you can play it on top of the Shark Typhoon. It creates a 9/9 shark, and that's your second win condition. So you've got the shades that can deal damage, you've got the sharks that can deal damage, and the rest of the deck is pure control. There's no Ugin here today. I am walking the light side today. We are the right-hand path full-heartedly today. No Ugin, trying to help improve everybody's day. 8 islands, 8 swamps, 4 Clearwater and Murkwater pathways, and 4 Temple of Deceit. You could use a couple pathways, or passages, I should say, if you want, but overall, you don't really need it. There's a double black. There's a double black within the Bloodchief's Thirst as well, and then we've got the double blue, or triple blue, I should say, within the Magic Mirror, but that's a very late draw. There's a good chance that you're going to have 6 land by the time you play this, and by that standard, half of them should be islands, and you also have the Midnight Clock to fix your mana for the mirror as well. So really cool stuff. You can be drawing massive hands between the clock and the mirror, making a massive amount of sharks within the Typhoon, and just typical Dimir control with Ashiok Event, Soul Shatter, Bloodchief's Thirst, and you know, being a little bit off skew today with our own flavor on Dimir control, entering the Shade, entering Witch's Vengeance, Soul Shatter. So a little bit of our own flavor in the deck. And yeah, with that all being said, try to make your matches last as long as you can. That's how control decks win. Have your opponent lose all their value by you taking 2-for-1s, getting more value than them. They're top decking now, and you are drawing more cards than they know what to deal with each turn. So that's just your general game plan, is to stretch things out, make it last as long as you can. Try to prioritize your removal if you can, soak up all their removal, and yeah, just enjoy yourself. Thanks for watching. We're going to get into today's gameplay footage. I urge you to like the video if you found any value within the deck tech, subscribe if you want even more content, and of course, you may as well hit that bell icon while you're at it. Thank you guys for your time and attention. If you want to get in on our free 500,000 gem giveaway, you know, we do have access to that within the Linktree link in the description below. and we're also playing our matches today using Magic the Gathering Arena Assistant, the best metagame tracker and overall in-game edition that you can get for free on Windows within either the Linktree link description below again, or we have this just directly link within the Overwolf as well. So get in on that. You know, it's going to give you your draw percentages, your draft helper, metagame analysis, so much more. There's literally unlimited things that the assistant can do to help improve your game. Thank you guys again. Let's get into today's gameplay footage, and then I'll be back up to wrap up with our final thoughts. Our opponent goes first. Our land looks great, and we have clocks. It's not rogues though, so I guess that's a downside. We'll do our best, and they're taking a dig. Gotta respect that. A negate against a mono green deck? Probably not, unless we're stopping the Great Henge. But we should just focus on removal, which we have a lot of. I think we just maybe keep it, and then just insulate from it in case. Oh, it's Gruul. Elemental. Okay, so it could protect us from a cleave, too. We should have tossed it for removal. Oh my lord. If this is a passage, we could get Embercleave with a passage next turn. I will cry. I guess we could have templed. I don't want to play the clock now that I'm thinking about the Embercleave. Like, who would we be if we let that happen? Wow. Talk about getting turned forward, baby. Wow. Even and even at least. Wow. Down to 1 life. Can we do it? I do not think so. There's 4 Bone Crushers in here. There's Questing Beasts. There's, you know, other stuff. We can cycle the Shark Typhoon for 3. Doesn't work. Let's just set up removal for next turn. Bloodchief's Thirst, and then we hit even again. It's our only option, right? We have to play the line out as far as we can get it. Any haste, we lose. Gem Razor, just in play. So this is our 6th land, which means, yeah, we could cast this for 3 and then still kick Bloodchief's Thirst. I guess. Hanging on. We're a little nervous. Let me tell you what. Down to 1 life. 4 Bone Crusher Giants available. We do have the Negate up. Negate is up. We sack our ability to defend to get life. We have to hold the Negate up. Another clock in play. I want to play the Shark Typhoon, but we just can't do it. We just can't do it right now. It's too risky. Yikes. Cobra is a thing, sure. Let's take it out then. We still have a Negate up. As long as there's not haste. Right? We're exposed to a haste attacker. We're protected from instant or sorcery. This is fine. Just an Embercleave enters play. Yeah, we have to make the Shark. We just have to play the line out. Because without it, we have no creatures to block. No attacks. We're playing defensively. We need some cards in our hand, Midnight Clock. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Bonecrusher Giant we lose because we used our Negate. Another Emberclave. It sucks because we discard it. Well, why don't we cast it for odds to make the Shark, and then we're not hitting our own Shark. Right? Just to make the Shark? Giga Brain play. Let's start smacking down. And our turn. We take the draw here. Come on, instant speed removal. Soul Shatter with the land. Nice! Woo! Attaboy! Loving it. Alright, this hand, again, looks so sloppy. This will work at least. One clock can go. We need a third land, and we're set. Let's make it work, people. Rule, probably. Yeah. It's can't block, but let's pretend it can. Awesome. Doubling down on the Hellhound Frontier. Not good. Not good. It's Negate. Probably useless. Nice. We need an event on odds off the top. Oh! Uh-oh! Think of what you need so you can pull it and then cast it. Ooh. I would exile their Ugin, but it's already gone. The heart of the cards lives on. Don't worry, don't worry. Oh, they get the exile on that. Nice. Don't worry, Yu-Gi-Oh players. We've got you. I tried to finish that sentence like 3 times, I feel like. Mono red is now mono dead, indeed. Let's grab a draw. Get that land out of the way, that's for sure. Ooh. If only that came in untapped. More removal's great. We can pass it up. Next turn we hardcast our Shark Typhoon. And then we're on the search for a magic mirror. Embereth Paladin, 4-1 with haste. 5-2 coming at us. Should we chump block it? Probably. Oh my gosh. Cycling time. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. We may as well. Doesn't much matter. I guess we knew there was removal. We could have like tried to outpace it, but much happier with this, I feel like. Let's just play it out. We still have our removal up. We're at 7 on the clock. So just trying to keep our hand empty and, you know, actually trying to keep their hand empty as well. 4 brand in play. That's fine. Spends all their mana. We just kick it. Ooh, we get into their hand first. Slaying Fire. Thank you. It's a lot of damage if this Torbran was in play, but it's not. Land goes out and Negate is up. Even with it, I guess. We're to 9. A few more draw steps until we draw. They should play the Rimrock Knight at least, right? We're at 14. That's not bad. Our turn. I guess we could have sunk another mana in that, couldn't we? Oh, wow. This way we can still use the Negate if that's something groovy. Land, then Miracle Embercleave. Alright, we take the hit. Spell goes to the grave. So no other knight behind it. Still hit for 3 though. And we can actually get right after this. Do we need to gain life though? No, but this gets shuffled back in. So let's take it. Actually, I guess it doesn't get shuffled back in when it goes to exile. There we go. There should be a select all button, or just like auto select. That'd be cool. That would get abused and people would be upset though. They'd be like, I took my best card. Just grabbing the life, offsetting the damage of a red deck. Easy. And we take a massive draw here. That's a lot of land. And this makes it really, really easy just to hardcast a Shark Typhoon, right? It's like, good luck with that. Again, just gonna hold up this Negate. We can take 3 damage. We don't mind that at all. We have another Midnight Clock, which is nice. Castle Ambreth is activated here. Hit for 4 down to 10. Not much going on there. Alright, clock in play for the Shark. That blocks the Rimrock Knight. And I guess since we have so much mana, we may as well put on the Jets as well. That does not leave us enough. Unless we haven't played. Oh, we haven't. Oh well. Let's just take the Scry instead. Another instant speed removal. That's just what we need. No tax. And, you know, it's just like taking the control of the actual match rather than the health points here. This thing's pretty cool, I guess. Oh, I guess they could cleave on top of that. But they're only cleaving the champion, that means. And we've got massive blockers. So that's fine. The increase in anything doesn't matter. That was a failed attempt. Okay, they rock out a Shark. Nice. Not sure what else to do here, but bash in. Haste doesn't matter, we can create a Shark on will. And even remove one of their creatures in the process. Nope. Game. 4 mono red. 1 rogue deck coming right up. Hey, it could be cycling. Let's not be too quick to judge. Or mono white. So it's either cycling, which it is. Confirmed cycling. Negate can be saved for the flare. Ashiok can bounce the fox. We can also event it. No removal here. Kind of a bummer. Not even next turn. We could pick it up. It's really cheap removal with the Bloodchief. They can play their healer. They cycle the healer. Just want to hit us with that big old foxy fox. Nice. What I would give for instant speed removal right there. We still don't get it. Nice. Ouch. Ouch. We're gonna hit for 7 or 8 here. Right? So that means we're down to like 6 or 7. Oh no, they take a turn off to play another fox. They're like, wow, this is working good. Let me get another one of those out there. Which is good for us. So now we just get hit for 7 or such amounts. It's cycling for 2, which is good. So just hit for 6. Still down to that 8 mark though. Woof. 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 Alright. There's no negate value up, but they've not played a red source yet. So imagine that will come into play here. Yup. There's 5 engraved. Wow, they're going for it. What a jerk. They don't have haste. We know this. Hello, good game. Do they have a third? Woof. Woof. So 2 of them are dealt with. Magic mirror, save us! There's another one. A third right in their hand. Wow! Easy! How many flares do you need? There's not enough land to save our lives here, so this looks much better. We toss a negate for now. And just pretend it's a creature-based deck. Nice. Into a passage immediately. Loving that. Rogues, rogues, rogues! Mill, mill, mill! It's weird that they got a Jeskai deck going on. Or a Temur deck, sorry. I have a pretty neat Temur mill deck. I wonder if it is. Oh my gosh. Another passage? No, not quite. 2 rogues, though. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous on the rogue front. Let's just kill it now before they play land. Soul Shatter, you know, you gotta hit the crab, the great mighty crab. It's on the same level as Ugin and Dream Trawler, which is just ridiculous. I don't really need the life. Let's hold off on it. I want to take the crabs, but we don't need the life, so we just need to draw. They are gonna play Royale, and they're also gonna play a card that makes you discard and draw 2 whenever you play. It's not Whirlwind. It's the other enchantment that's quite cheap. So we're removing instances and sorceries from their grave, because that helps Royale. They could even counter this. I've got negates in there to protect everything. So we could go to 5, which we should just do with Ashiok. Force them into countering it. Yeah! 1, 2, 3 Nightmare that when it attacks or blocks, will have our opponent exile the top couple cards of their library. Okay. Blitz up the Thunder Raptor. This is 100% my list. I love it. Hopefully they find their land and combo. A 3rd crab. You gotta get out of here, man. Into a passage. Stop it. Insane. Absolutely silly. If you guys are interested in this list, just look back on my channel. Another blitz, yeah.
I will be sated elsewhere.
Gotta get rid of those crabs. Like, they're using our full cast, you know, 2-for-1 removals. I'm gonna hold up the negate here. Let's just choke them off. The land is not good. Taking our shade now, finally. We do have some damage on the board. They're top decking, and you know that will only last so long for us. Oh, tutelage. We're down to 31. This could get weird. But they had to discard their Royale. Nice. Nice. They're not having it. That triggered them so much. You really need Royale to help start you with the draw. Loving it. Opponent goes first, which typically is illegal, but the hand's pretty good, so we can allow it. Okay, a little bit annoying. We do need to exile their Croxas. I can't in good conscience toss it. Even though we only need it a couple times. Unless it's a Cling to Dust, which I guess we should be digging for. Oh, it's Jund. I'm glad we kept it. That's really good then. Jund typically has a lot of creatures that can go indestructible, like the wolf, like the Jund food situation. Interesting. What did they play? Heart of Keld? It's clock out, I guess. They're taking some damage, and they get to play land off the top. Huh. Their fourth is intapped. Dalmir Knight with Death Touch for 1. And we get hit for 3. Those are both odd, which is like delightful. We don't pull our land, which sucks. But at the end of the day, we still get to take a 2 for 1. Worst case, we cycle our Shark Typhoon for a land. And we have that second event, so if they fold in, we might be okay. We can just kick this. Land is a go. Elspeth's Nightmare is a really good play here. Picks up the Rider and has residual effect, right? Getting into their hand. Ending our turn, clock goes up. Halfway there almost. Lovestruck Beast, Heart Desire, 1/1. Then in as a 5/5. We get in their hand in case there is a Great Henge there, which is pretty cool. So let's see what's up in their hand. Let's take care of Garrick. Land and play tapped. Soul Shatter can stay there. That's really good. Now, this is one of my favorite moves, is Ashiok's minus ability on a token. The token can't go to their hand, so they have to discard from their hand. Absolutely lovely. And now the Lovestruck Beast can't attack. So Ashiok's going to be safe for a turn, hopefully. Interesting, they toss the one answer to Ashiok. They could have kicked that to kill it. So they're relying on something else. The land takes them to 5 for the Gargaroth. We are looking down the barrel of another odd event. And that is absolutely delightful. Graveyard's gone.
The curse is affecting me more than I thought.
Hit him at odd. That is so sad. Alias V, rating with a party of 99. Oh my god, thank you, girl. I hope you had an amazing day. I hope the pets are having fun today. We're just recording YouTube channel, so if you guys are watching on YouTube, check out Alias's YouTube channel as well. You know, she's just like me, but a girl. It's like a lady version. My cats are chilling. Not on the cat wheel, though. And again, yeah, we're just doing a little bit of recording here today. Playing a homemade version of Dimir Shenanigans using the Magic Mirror and Midnight Clock. Having fun with it. That's going to be enough to hardcast Shark Typhoon. And if you can ever hardcast your Shark Typhoon, it's going to be a bad time for someone. Either you or your opponent, depending. Oddly enough, most times it's you. But those couple times where it pays off, you just go crazy with sharks. I love it. And we actually toss all this away on our upkeep. Another Heart of Keld. Let's see what we draw. Thinning their library. I mean, just top decking is so painful in general. And that's why the Midnight Clock is such a good card right now. Not only does it shut down the mill, but it will draw you 4 lands. 5 off the top, baby. Very nice. So we were doing some stuff here. Let's kill this now so they can't play land off the top. Just start making those sharks. Probably playing another clock for another shark. Plus the Ashiok, and they're going to get the hint here soon enough. We may as well take our scry as well. Land could go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Hit for 2, exiling off the top for 2. And our first tick-tock counter on the Midnight Clock. A lot of land. Whoa. Alright, down to 3. They only have 1 red source. That has got to hurt. Another clock. And I guess we could drain our mana into the clocks if we really wanted. Easy. Alright, final thoughts. It's not that bad. For someone who builds new decks every day, the control decks are harder to build a little bit, right? It's like you need so much control and then just a couple win conditions. And then you have to just pray that it all balances, right? Like you have enough single target, you have enough field wipes, you have enough general field disruption, and the draw. There's a lot to a control deck for me. And I'm sure this varies between deck builder and deck builder, but I have a harder time building control. I feel like a lot more thought goes into it. It's the difference between flying something with autopilot or an F-16, in my opinion. There's like 1,000 levers and knobs and buttons that you just have a higher chance of crashing it yourself than really landing to your destination. So that's why I typically build a lot of aggro decks. I feel that they're a lot easier. You know, it's much simpler to grasp turn 1 through turn 4 and to wrap up on turn 5 maybe than okay, if we play this to turn 15 we should have value, right? So it's a little bit different, right? So let me know what you guys thought. I do want to build more control decks. I think I'm going to build an Esper deck next. I'm having a lot of fun with it, right? So it's not something that I've always been good at, but something that I'm definitely kind of getting there. And I think that, you know, if we keep at it, we will start pumping out some really nice control decks like we can with the aggro decks, because we've definitely got that on lock. And then, you know, maybe after that we'll tackle the mid-range, which, believe it or not, I think I struggle most with. Maybe it's just the current meta because it's so aggro, and then that forces the control to be like really aggressive as well. And now it's just like, I just want to play my 4-mana creatures, right? So it's a little awkward. Again, thank you guys all for your time and attention. If you want even more content, you can become a YouTube member for not only an exclusive VIP chat within Discord, right with myself and the other supporters, but you'll also gain access to exclusive YouTube videos within the members only playlist. So regardless if you want to do that, or if it's your first time seeing us on YouTube, or you've been here supporting since the beginning, thank you all for your time and attention, and we'll see you in a few seconds in the next video.